Hello everyone, Missy here again today, and we will be doing expression word problems. So moving into our agenda for today, we have our materials, joke of the day, and objectives. So I'm going to start with the objectives. It's going to be, I can use variables to find out numbers in word problem expressions. So at the end of the lesson today, we'll be able to do that with the material that we have learned throughout this lesson. Moving forward with the materials, we will need paper and pencil. Anything to write with and write on always works out best, and an electronic device could work as well, as long as you guys are just following along, paying attention. Participation is all we ask for. And then while you guys get those materials, I do have the joke of the day. So what do the dollar and the moon have in common? So if you guys could pause here and go get those materials if you don't already have them. And if you do, you can just think about that joke and think about what the answer could be. All right, I hope that's enough time for you guys to grab those materials if you didn't have them already. So for the joke of the day, what do the dollar and moon have in common? So the answer is 4 quarters. So the moon has 4 quarters in the phases that it rotates, and then the dollar uses 4 quarters to make $1. So that's always a little bit fun to think of a new kind of joke that takes you out of your mind, that has something to do with related to math. I really like doing the jokes just because it gets my brain thinking about something that could be different. So a little bit of review. We're going to have vocabulary here. So a lot of these terms you will hear throughout the lesson when we do expressions. So I do want to cover this over again. I know that Miss Lopez had already done that, but I will do that again as well. So the first vocabulary review word is going to be variables. So variables are symbols that represent a number we do not know yet. It could be seen as X, Y, or Z. So those are going to be the most common. Obviously, X and Y are super, super common, but you can use any symbol, usually a letter, to represent this. So you could use A, B, C, anything to Z works out for this. Our next vocabulary review word is going to be term. So each expression is made up of terms. So we have, shown on the bottom, we have terms as 4x, 7, and 5. So it's going to be all the numbers that were in the expression are considered terms. And then the next review is going to be factors, is one part of the product. So then also on the bottom shown in the example, factors are going to be the 4 and the x. So the coefficient and the variable before the operator. And then the coefficient is a number used to multiply by a variable. So it's going to be the number that comes before the variable, usually again before x. And then that's going to come before the operator. And then I'm going to explain the operator right now. So the operator is a symbol such as plus, minus, multiplication, or dividing that shows an operation. So it's going to be the number that you're like multiplying by, subtracting by, adding by, dividing by, and then you divide those or add those, subtract those by the constant, and then your equal sign will come before your answer. So if we look again at the bottom, the example, our 4 is represented as our coefficient, our x is represented as our variable, our subtraction symbol is represented as our operator, the 7 and the 5 are constants. And this is going to be shown as an expression with the answer. Moving forward, we do have more review. So we are also going to review PEMDAS. That's how I say it. So a lot of people have different ways of saying it. So the P stands for do everything inside the parentheses first. So you're going to do this in this order. So everything that's in the parentheses is what we would do first in this instance. And then our E is our exponents. So x squared, 5 squared, anything cubed, anything with a number on top. So we'll do the parentheses first, then the exponents, and then our MD is going to be multiply and divide from left to right. So the multiply and division are interchangeable. So if division comes first, you don't have to do multiplication first, but you do have to do multiplication and division at the same time from left to right. Same thing goes for addition and subtraction. They fall under the same category. So if you see something subtraction first, you don't have to do the addition and then go back. You do the subtraction, addition, everything from left to right as well. So that's going to be PEMDAS. And then there's a catchy phrase that can help you remember the order of operations. So please, which is our parenthesis, which is our P, excuse, which is our exponents, which is our E, my dear, and then M stands for multiplication, dear is division, and then Aunt Sally, A is for addition, S is for subtraction. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So if you use that phrase, you'll take the first letter from each of those words, and then that's PEMDAS. So PEMDAS, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. If you remember that, it's always going to be helpful for you moving forward, remembering this system. So let's start thinking. If you, I'm going to give you guys some of these problems to work with, and then I'll give you time to do it on your own, and then we can come back together, and then I will go over those answers with you, and then we'll move further. So in our start thinking section, I have 3 questions. The first one being, if you work for 5 hours and receive $5 an hour, how much do you earn? And then the second one is, you want to paint a picture frame and it takes 1 hour to paint 1 frame. How long will it take to paint 5 frames? And then you babysit for 6 hours. You receive $72 total. How much do you get paid hourly? So I'll give you guys time to stop here and review those on your own. If you guys could pause for about 6 minutes and then do those problems on your own. All right, I hope that was enough time for you guys. I know you may not have finished all of them, or you may not have known the answer for all of them, but that's okay, because this will get us into what we're doing today. So steps for solving the problems. So first, we want to read the problem more than once and underline the important parts of the question. So I like to read the problem multiple times and then underline like what they're asking, what is given to me, so I know what's most important. Sometimes they could give you a really lengthy word problem that sometimes may not all be necessary. So I do like to reread and underline. And then second, I would identify the symbols that will be used in solving the problem, such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, that's what the slash line is, or the equal sign. So we'll probably always use the equal sign, but I still wrote that down. And then third being, make sure to reread and answer the key question. So usually the key question will come at the end of the problem generally, but sometimes it might not. So I would reread and answer the key question alone. And then last, set up and evaluate the expression to solve for the answer. So then using the information that was given to you to set up an equation to get to the answer that you are looking for is the best way to solve the expression that you are given. So moving forward in our start thinking, the first question was, if you work for 5 hours and receive $5 an hour, how much do you earn? So our key question here is, how much do you earn when working 5 hours for $5? So I know that I'm going to be using multiplication in this one. So I'm going to be multiplying my 5 hours times my $5 to get how much I earn. So written on the bottom, I did write it out first. So my total earnings will equal my 5 hours times my $5 per hour. And then when I multiply the 5 hours by the $5 per hour, I get my total earnings equals $25. So when I work 5 hours for $5, I'm going to earn a total of $25. So that one was pretty easy. Moving forward, you want to paint a picture frame, and it takes 1 hour to paint one frame. How long will it take to paint 5 frames? So I know that my key question here is going to be, how long will it take to paint 5 frames? So I know that that's going to be equal. That's going to be what the answer is going to be, my equal for this one. So then I know that 5 painted frames equals 1 hour to paint one frame times my 5 frames. So I have my hours times my frames will give me my 5 painted frames. So my 1 hour times my 5 frames will make it 5 hours to paint 5 frames. Hope that makes sense for you guys. I know I wrote 1 twice on the top section explaining, but I wanted to make sure you guys understood that it took 1 hour to paint one frame. So then we're going to multiply our 1 hour, so our hours, by our frames, which gave me 5 hours to do 5 frames. All right, and our last start thinking question, you babysit for 6 hours. You receive $72 total. How much do you get paid hourly? So this one's gonna be set up a little bit different than the last two we just did. So I know that my key question for this one is going to be, how much do you get paid hourly? So we don't know how much we get paid hourly, but we do know we worked for 6 hours and we got $72. So my total is already given to me. In the last two, we were looking for the total. So this one is just a little bit different. So when I set it up, I did my total dollars received. So how much I received for babysitting completely in total equals the number of hours worked, which was given to us, times the hourly pay. So if we knew the hours we worked times how much we got paid per hour, that would give us our total. So we are looking for how much we get paid hourly, since they had already given us the total and the amount of hours. So I have $72 equals 6 hours times hourly pay. So what we would do here is we would want to get hourly pay on its own. And in order for us to do that, I'm going to divide the 6 hours by both sides. So then when I do that, I'm going to divide 72 by 6 and then 6 by 6, which cancels out to 0, which leaves hourly pay on one side on its own. When I divide 72 by 6, that gives me $12. So then the hourly pay for babysitting would be $12, which means when you work 6 hours, you get paid $12 an hour, you'll get $72 total. So those ones were our start thinking problems to help us thinking about expressions, what we would do in situations. So let's go further. In this problem, this word problem, Caden owns a food truck where he sells burgers and fries. The expression 3.25b plus 1.25f gives us the cost on burgers and fries. So then the B stands for burgers, F stands for fries, obviously. And then how much will it cost to get 2 burgers and 2 fries? So these ones are a little bit different than the one we had just done, but I'm gonna let you guys pause here for about 3 minutes and try to figure that out on your own. If you aren't able to figure it out, that's completely fine. I will go over the answer with you. But if you guys could pause and try to figure it out on your own, that would be great. All right, so I'm going to move forward and I'll help you with this answer. So I hope that was enough time for you guys to try to get started at least, and then we will continue on. So again, the B stands for burgers, the F stands for fries, and then we know that forward. So then we know that the 325 and the 125 are coefficients, and then the B and the F represent variables. So if I move back to our review over here, where, oh, this is going to be a lot. Here, we know our coefficient and our variable. So this one's going to have coefficient variable and then a plus sign and then another coefficient variable, and then we'll equal our constant. So moving back forward here. So I know that one burger will cost me $3.25, and I know one tray of fries will cost me $1.25. So they want to know, so our key question that we will be answering is how much will it cost to get 2 burgers and 2 fries? So they have given us the expression already. So, and then we know that the 325 and the 125 are coefficients. So then I'm going to plug in my 2 for B and my 2 for F. So they want 2 burgers, 2 fries. So I had plugged into my expression down there, 325 times 2, so 2 B's because they wanted 2 burgers, plus my 125 times my 2 F's, which are fries, which will give me my answer. So when I multiplied my 325 times 2 and my 125 times 2 and added those both together, that gave me a total of $9. So that's how we did our expressions with our go further section. And then we have one last one, that's the try it on your own. So this one is, again, a little bit different than the last one we did. So I'm going to read you the problem. It says, Kevin wants to buy new clothes. T-shirts cost $9.50 each, and pants cost $10.25 each. How much will Kevin spend if he wants 4 t-shirts and 2 pants? Create the expression and solve. So in our go further section, they had given us the expression using the B and the F for burgers and fries. In this instance, I want you guys to create that expression on your own. So I gave you the cost of the t-shirts, the cost of the pants, and I gave you the quantity of how many t-shirts and how many pants Kevin wanted. So then you would first, I want you to set up the expression and then move forward and plug in those answers. And then again, you can use any variables you want, but make sure you explain which variables you use for which ones, because it could get confusing. So if you guys could stop here for about 5 minutes and create that one on your own, that would be absolutely great. So I hope that's enough. If you need more time, more than 5 minutes, that also is okay. You guys could do that as well. I think that 5 minutes is a great middle ground for us. All right, I hope that was enough time for you guys. So I'm gonna move forward and explain this answer. If you guys didn't get to finish it, that's okay. Just follow along with what you can and what you already have. So Kevin wants to buy, again, I'm gonna read it because I love to reread the problem again. So Kevin wants to buy new clothes. T-shirts cost $9.50 each and pants cost $10.25 each. How much will Kevin spend if he wants 4 t-shirts and 2 pairs of pants? Create the expression and solve. So I have created the expression down at the bottom. So I used T to represent the shirts and I used P to represent the pants. So I know that each shirt will cost me $9.50. So I did $9.50 times T. So 950 times the amount of shirts. So again, our variable is the number that we don't know yet and that we will be plugging in to help us find the answer. And then I'm going to add that to my pants, which is 1050, and then I plugged in P for the amount of pants we were going to use. So my expression ended up being 950T plus 1050P equals question mark, so equals how much? So then it asks you to create the expression and solve. So we are going to solve for the amount of t-shirts and pants he wanted. So it says he wants 4 t-shirts and 2 pairs of pants. So I'm going to plug in the 4 for T and I'm going to plug in the 2 for P. So my 950 times my 4 t-shirts plus my 1025 times my 2 pairs of pants that I want will give me my total. So then my 950 times 4 plus my 1025 times 2 gives me a total of $58.50. So if Kevin wanted to buy 4 shirts and 2 pairs of pants at the $9.50 and the $10.50 price, he would spend $58.50. So that's how we do the expression. That's how you set up your own expression. Again, you could use different variables. You could use X and Y. You could use X represent the t-shirts, Y represent the pants. I like to, if I'm creating my own expression, I like to go with the letter that's closest to what I'm representing. So t-shirts, I used T, and then for pants, I used P, but generally X and Y again are most common. So moving forward on our extra practice, I have expressions basketball here. This one is super fun. I think it also has music, but I don't think I have the music on. So we press start and then it says y plus 5 equals the blank. So we're looking for the answer. So evaluate the expression when y is 8. So we plug in 8 for y. So then my 8 plus 5 gives me a total of 13. And then if you make it, you make the basketball, and then I'll show you what happens if you get it wrong. So if I did plugged in my 8 here for y, I get 8 minus 8. Let's say I thought the answer was 3. So you would miss, and then you would get it wrong, and then your points would get taken away that you had just earned for making it. So that's a good way to help with that's a good way to help with what you guys are doing in using expressions. So again, let's go over our objectives. So our objective is I can use variables to find out numbers in word problem expressions. So that's what we did. Ooh, so sorry. Oh no. So that's what we did throughout the lesson. So we first started with our start thinking, and then those were like easier problems to help us start thinking about expressions. And then we did the go further where I gave you the expressions and you gave me the answer. And then the last problem, let's try on, you were able to do the expressions on your own and find the answer on your own. So that's all we have for today. So thank you so much.